Hey there, Bryan VantHof here with RE/MAX Advantage Plus, the Minnesota real estate team and Ramsey Trusted. I hope you're having a great last Thursday of March. Beautiful day, warm weather, sunny outside. It's looking like a fantastic final Thursday of March. Lots of golf courses open. Baseball opening day is today. So if you're a baseball fan, game one of 162 is on the docket for today for whoever your team might be. Mine happens to be the Twins. I'm a Minnesota sports fan, so I guess I am a fatalist when it comes to that stuff. Let's talk today a little bit about urgency, whether you're a buyer or whether you're a seller. What does urgency look like in today's real estate market? So we'll get into that as we get down through kind of the typical stuff that we start with. But yeah, urgency as a seller. What does it mean to be urgent? What does it mean to plan? What does it mean to be proactive? What does it mean to prepare your home? As a buyer, what does it mean to get financially pre-approved? What does it mean to watch the market, pay attention to what the inventory out there is? Let's start though with what we always start with. We're looking at previously owned homes within a 50-mile radius of downtown Minneapolis in Minnesota to give you a little bit of a flavor on what's going on in the past week. There's been 931 new listings in the past 7 days. That's down 3 from last week, but it's 175 more than the same week last year. 281 of those new listings did sell in the first week, so that's still a 30% clip, but slightly lower than where we were last week. Of the new listings, 635 were single-family homes. That's down 37. 184 were townhomes. That's up 12. And 112 were condos, that's up 12. 377 coming soon listings, that's actually down 4 from last week. Just an indication we are going to continue to plod along on a fairly typical 900 to 950, maybe up to 1,000 new listings in any given week as we get to the busiest part of the year. So we are seeing just a consistent level of inventory right now, and we might see that really at least through Easter. We may not see a huge rise in new listings to the market, anything more than what we are currently seeing. That's a little bit about that. Total of 3,499 homes on the market right now. That's 35 more than last week, 500 more than this time last year, 1,500 more than where we were 2 years ago. So we are certainly up in our inventory count, which is good for buyers. It's still a seller's market, especially for those single family homes. Of the available home group, 1,923 are single family. That's up 44 at a median price of $525,000. That's down 5,000. 706 are townhomes, down 30, median price of $315,000. That's unchanged. 870 are condos, that is up 21, and a median price of $210,000, which is actually up $5,000 for the week. And just to finish up our weekly stats, 769 went from active to pending, that's up 37, and 514 went pending to sold, that is down 33. Mortgage rates did climb up just a little bit from last week. They are up about 1/8% on a conventional fixed 30-year mortgage. In that range is 6.875 to 7% for the most part. You might get some lenders who are over that, some lenders who are under that. About 1/8% higher than 30 days ago, 1/4% lower than we were 3 months ago, 5/8 higher than where we were 6 months ago, and about 1/8 higher than where we were 1 year ago. So still a very tight range on mortgage rates over the past 12 months. 16,560 realtor scheduled showings have occurred in the past 7 days. That's up just slightly by about 2% from the week before. Not a ton of increased traffic, all things considered. The showing activity is actually 20% less at this week last year, and I don't know if that was due to if we had a weather situation or whether Easter maybe was involved in it last year. I don't think so. I think Easter was either the first weekend of April last year or the last weekend in March, but I don't know that Easter was a big factor last year. But interestingly, we have significantly more showings this year during this week than we did last year. Market continues to be busy. We are adding inventory, but again, not at a real weird, strange, fast pace. There's nothing vigorous about the pace of listings. It's just pretty consistent right now. Okay, so that's it on the market stats for the week. Now let's talk a bit about market timing as it relates to being both a buyer or a seller. First, let's talk to you a little bit as buyers. Let's talk to the buyers out there to give you a little bit of some feedback on where we are with things here in the market. The market is very active, especially for move-in ready homes under $1 million, and in some communities even over $1 million. We're seeing multiple offers on things. It is still very busy out there, especially for homes that are just updated, that a buyer can just move in and just enjoy. So I am seeing very busy market activity in that range. On the flip side, I am seeing some buyers who are very anxious about the real estate market. They see new listings hit the market. They like what they see on the market, but they're afraid that if they jump on something today, that better house might show up next week, next month, 2 months from now, 3 months from now. That might not happen. I run into a lot of buyers who have been shopping online for the past 6 months, as an example. Most buyers, before they ever get out to look at a house, have been looking online for at least 6 months at the inventory of homes that are out there. They've seen what's available. They've seen what they like. They've seen what they don't like. But they get concerned the minute when they start to go out and actually look at homes. They see something online, they're ready to buy something, they see something they really like, they fall in love with that home, but then they get concerned that it's the first house that they've seen. They feel like they cannot buy the first house that they've seen, even though they've been looking online for the past 6 months. And nothing has compared to what this house that they're now looking at looks like. I'm not advocating that you buy the first house. Most buyers do not buy the first house they see. I've had buyers buy the first house they've seen, but it happens very rarely. But my point is, when you see something you like and you fall in love with it, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's something you need to jump on if you really feel like this is the house for you and your family. Take advantage of the market, take advantage of that house, fall in love with it, make an offer on it should you want to. And make sure you're just not thinking it's too early in the season. Another house that's better is going to hit the market. It might not. That first house you see, that house you see today in March, might be the best house you see for the next 6 months or a year, depending on the price range that it's at or the price you're willing to pay. It could be priced more in the future, or if another house comes on the market that you really like just as much, that house could be priced more. From a timing standpoint, if you like something, go get it. So as long as you're preparing yourself financially to do something properly. Ultimately, the decision to make an offer on any house lies with you as the buyer. I am here to provide information and resources and guidance, and I'm certainly going to be honest with you in cases where I see a nice, fantastic home that looks really nice, fixed up, in good shape. I'm going to be honest with you and just tell you if I think that there's another potential option that's going to be as good as the one that you're looking at. Or I'm going to be honest with you and tell you, hey, this one's kind of average, or these are a dime a dozen. It wouldn't hurt if you waited. I'm going to be straight up and tell you the things that I think about a particular house. Again, not advocating if you love a house and you want to buy it. I'm not here to hold you back. I'm just here to provide you resources and information and really be a critic and advisor to you to help you make good decisions for you and your family. So that's a little bit about urgency on the buyer side. For sellers, the first half of the year is the best time of the year to be a seller. That is when, as I probably say this every week, that this is the best time of the year to be a seller. Now through mid-July is about the best time of year to be a seller. The number of active buyers out there are the highest between now and mid-July. That's when you have the most buyers per home. After that, things do tend to slow down on the volume of buyers that are out there. So that's, again, just really something to keep in mind. I had a meeting with a client this week that they wanted to sell their nice 4-bedroom home on a cul-de-sac in a great neighborhood with lots of 2 stories and lots of expensive homes in the neighborhood. They wanted to wait until October to sell. And while that's fine, I did have to advise them that waiting for that could cost them quite a bit of money if they weren't prepared to do something in the first half of the year. And the reason is because that particular house was maybe more designed for a buyer who was reliant on being in a particular school district by the time school starts. So when you shrink your buyer pool to people who don't care about the school district in the fall, that's not a lot of buyers. When you are cognizant of timing on the sale of your house to make sure you're selling during the prime time for when the most buyers who are going to give you the most money for your house are truly looking at homes to get there, to whether it's, again, contingent upon having kids in a particular school district or school by the time school starts. I got to tell my seller, this is what you need to consider. These are the things that you need to evaluate when making your move. If it's okay that you lose $25,000 by waiting till October, that's fine. I just need to make sure you're aware that there is a possibility that waiting until then, as opposed to selling by mid-July or putting it on the market by mid-July, there's a cost. There's a cost to that. So having somebody who knows what's going on in the market, timing in the market, and how that works, that is going to be very important to making sure that you as a seller maximize the dollars in your pocket. Also, we do run into situations on occasion when buyers do not hit the closing date that they say that they are going to close on your house. So what happens when a buyer basically sticks a seller and says, I'm not ready, I need another week, I need another 10 days, I need another 15 days, my financing just isn't ready? In years past or in markets past, in a way, the seller just had to eat it. There just really was no way to compensate you as the seller in the instance where a buyer didn't live up to their obligations. Eventually they did, but they didn't live up to their obligations of closing on time. If you're a seller and you run into a buyer that has delayed your closing, delayed your move, delayed your financing or something on that next house, you're not happy. You are disappointed. You're like, I want to be compensated. I got to be compensated for what this buyer did to me. And so there are certain negotiating tactics that we as agents who are representing you can use to try to help you get compensated for the delays that you're experiencing, because you're going to have delays in your move. You might have movers lined up. You might have family members lined up. You might have utilities switched. A lot of that stuff can impact you financially. So working with somebody who knows how to potentially get you compensation from a buyer to make sure that you are compensated for your lost time, money, and revenue. Somebody who knows how to make that happen. And not all agents do. Most agents will say, sorry, seller, we're kind of at the whims of the buyer here. Let's just hope they close. And that happens all the time too. But certainly something you want to have an agent by your side who's going to be able to walk you through all those things. That's really all I have for this week. I'd love to be the realtor who helps you understand what's going on in the real estate market, ways to negotiate, whether you're a buyer or whether you're a seller, giving you the advantage over maybe the other agent. Or in your situation, we just want to make sure I want to make sure that I'm representing you, your interest in trying to get you the best terms possible. So you want somebody who can have a comprehensive understanding of what's going on in the market and just provide you with the advantage to make sure this works in your favor. Call, text, email me anytime. I am here. I am ready to help. I am ready to be that resource of information and get out and help you either buy or sell a home. Let's talk. Hope you have a great weekend and look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.